Hey, what's up everybody? Hammerheart Metal Reviews here once again, doing another discography countdown for you today. And today we are going to be talking about Ereb Altor. In my opinion, a severely underrated band. These guys are from Sweden and they play a very unique blend of like doom metal, Viking metal, black metal, kind of all thrown in there together. Really can't talk about these guys without mentioning Bathory. I'm probably going to be mentioning Bathory a lot throughout this video. Clearly their number one influence. They wear their influences on their sleeves. They make no qualms about it. Like, clearly they're paying tribute to Quorthon with a lot of this material, really following in the footsteps. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that in my opinion. I absolutely love Bathory, and these guys more focus on the Viking era of Bathory as a good comparison. So longtime bandmates Mats and Ragnar, they've been the two guys that have been in Ereb Altor since the beginning. They're also in the epic doom band Isol, which is a very solid doom band as well. So the first couple albums Ereb Altor put out were really just straight ahead epic doom, Viking metal, a blend of those two genres. There was not really any black metal to be found in their sound at all. But that being said, even though black metal is my favorite subgenre of metal, these first couple albums are absolutely awesome. I potentially like them even better than when they started bringing in black metal influences. You'll see when I get to the ranking. But yeah, after the first couple albums, they started slowly bringing in more and more black metal into their sound. And now these days, it's really a mix of still having like that epic doom and epic Viking metal in their sound, but with some black metal interspersed in there as well. In my opinion, they really excel on the more epic side of things, have these really majestic, clean vocals that just really are the shining star of all these albums. It really makes these guys stand out. The vocals are just so strong. The harsh vocals are good as well, but it's really on the clean side that really gives it this epic nature. And so yeah, they've got 9 albums altogether. I'm just going to run through them from my least favorite down to my favorite. I'll start it off by saying I don't think any of these are bad albums. I absolutely love all of them. So even though what I'm going to start talking about at like number 9, number 8, something has to come last, but it does not mean I don't like these albums. I like everything these guys have put out. This was a pretty difficult ranking to do, but without further ado, let's just get right into this. So coming in 9th, my least favorite Ereb Altor album, although I still really like it, is Nach Ram from 2015. So this one, like I said, even though I'm ranking this last, to me this is still like 7.5 out of 10. It's still very, very solid. It's got really epic vocals. This is their 5th album, so by this point in their career, they had like fully incorporated some black metal into their sound, and they'd really fine-tuned their approach at this point to really create a sound all their own, blending all these different subgenres together to make a sound that is all their own. So it's a really good hybrid of like black metal with epic Viking doom. This album has a really dark atmosphere and really brings on like this forlorn feeling throughout the whole thing. My only knock on it, I guess, is like it is a very solid album, but it's just maybe not as consistent as some of their other albums all the way through. Like there's some definite highlights, but then there's a few songs that aren't quite as strong. But the highlights, Midsommar Blot, one of their best songs ever on any album for sure, and the Dance of the Elves, absolutely solid as well. So like all in all, like I said, this is still 7.5 out of 10 album to me. It's not bad by any stretch. I just have it last because I like the other ones a little bit more. Up next at number 8, I'm going with the album that was right after that, actually from 2016, Blot Ilt Tout. So this one was a really hard one to place in the ranking because this is actually a complete Bathory covers album. There's no original material here. Usually wouldn't include a covers album in a discography ranking, but this is still considered a full length, and I wanted to talk about it anyways because it's so well done. So the only reason I have this at 8th is because I obviously am going to lean towards original material a little bit more than a covers album, but this really captures Quorthon's spirit. Like if there's any band that can cover Bathory songs this well, it is Ereb Altor, like for sure. Like no other band could capture the spirit as well as these guys. It's just really well executed. There's 7 tracks on here. with Ereb Altor being more on the epic side, you'd think that most of the cover songs they're doing are going to just be from the Viking era, but they actually throw on some straight-ahead black metal Bathory tracks on here too, like Woman of Dark Desires, and they make it like an even more epic chorus. Really great ones like Home of Once Brave, they really knocked that one out of the park. Blood, Fire, Death, Twilight of the Gods, like obviously everything on here is awesome. I love all of these Bathory songs. So the only reason I have it down here as well at number 8, if I'm feeling like listening to these songs, I'm still going to go back to the Bathory original versions as opposed to this. I don't listen to this album all that much because if I want to listen to these songs, I'm going to listen to the Bathory versions. But that being said, every time I do listen to it, it's still really solid. Like, it's very well executed, really solid covers album, and I don't see anything wrong with that. Pay tribute to your hero, and Quorthon is an absolute legend, and this album hits it out of the park. Up next at number 7, I'm going with their third album, which is from 2012, titled Gas Strike. So this was the first album that started to bring in the black metal influence and incorporate it in with the epic doom sound, because they had really established their own sound on the first 2 albums, and this one really threw it for a curveball in a completely different direction. But it's a very diverse release. Like, it really works well. Once again, the clean vocals really shine here, but it contrasts with the black metal rasps really well. And this album does have more of a dark and grim tone compared to the first couple. There's even some folky parts as well that just really help them forge a new identity and new style that's a little bit different from their first 2 albums. So yeah, you think me putting this at 7 means maybe it's not that strong of an album, but no, it's just because all their albums are so solid, and like these next few that I'm listing, it's so neck and neck for which spot I would put them in. But yeah, best songs on here, Dance of Darkness is really solid, Dispellation, really awesome as well. Like, all in all, this is easily an 8 out of 10 album. Could definitely be higher than number 7, but for today, that's where it's coming in. Up next at number 6, I'm going to 2017 with Ulfven. So this one has got kind of a wolf theme throughout the whole album. It's got this really epic and triumphant feeling to it. This one, once again, at this point in their career, they've really established their sound, and it's just got that perfect balance of black metal parts and then the more epic Viking, epic doom parts with the clean vocals. So not necessarily doing anything new on this album, but it's executed so well and it's solid throughout the whole thing. There's not really too many weak moments on this album at all. Best songs on here, I will probably mispronounce some, so I apologize in advance, but Unsin's Fart Some Sought, really solid song. Of Blood Our Jug Common, it's really solid. And then Bloodline, I can pronounce that one. That's an epic, longer song at the end of the album. But all in all, really solid stuff. That's what's in number 6. Now into the top 5. My top 5 favorite Ereb Altor albums. So coming in at number 5, I'm actually going with the follow-up to Ulfven, which is from 2019, Jartekin. So this one really continues in a similar type of style from Ulfven, but I find this one, I'm putting this one a little bit higher because the standout tracks on here, to me, edge out the standout tracks on Ulfven by a hair, but there's just some really, really solid songs on this album. Like I said, it's still got the similar style from their last few albums, but just when it hits, it really fucking hits. So best songs on here, of Guden Dreikensvag, probably mispronouncing that, with Fire in My Heart, possibly one of the best Ereb Altor songs ever. Queen of All Seas is really solid as well. Just front to back, super enjoyable album, easily in my top 5. Up next at number 4, I'm actually going with their brand new one that just came out in 2022, Varg Timman. So I actually did a full review of this album back in January, which you can go check out if you want. This was actually my album of the month for January. It's my favorite album released in January of this year. And to me, the reason I got this one so high is just got such a great variation from song to song that you never really know what's coming next. Like, it kicks off with an epic Viking style song without any black metal at all, and then it'll kick you in the face with a really fast aggressive black metal song. Then it's got a really folky song in there too. It's just enjoyable all the way through. Tons of variation, really solid stuff. I enjoyed everything about this album. I'm sure it'll make my year-end list. I Have the Sky, the opening track, is possibly my favorite Ereb Altor song. Like, oh man, it's just such a good song. Such an epic, sing-alongable song. If you haven't heard these guys before, go check that song out. I'll let you know if you're into this style of like epic Viking metal. Alpha Blot is another really solid one that really pays some homage to like Nordland era Bathory for sure. But yeah, just all in all, really solid album in at number 4. Now in at number 3, I'm going with their 4th album, which is from 2013, Fire Meets Ice. So this was the follow-up to Gas Strike, which was the first album that started incorporating some black metal into their sound. But I feel like they really perfected that mix on this album. While it's a continuation of the same style from Gas Strike, it's executed a lot better here, and the songs are a little bit more memorable and more epic. There's a little more clean singing in this than in Gas Strike, which I actually like because their clean singing is so amazing. But it's still got some black metal rasps as well. And this is another album that really has some varied songs, like different types of songwriting throughout the same album. Like you'll have an epic doom song, you'll have a black metal song, you'll have a folky Viking metal song, but it all still sounds cohesive as an album, and that's really hard to pull off, but they do it effortlessly, just so solid. This is an absolutely awesome album. The title track is like a almost 10-minute epic opener, really solid. Niflheim is another good one. Our Legacy is solid as well. All in all, really solid album. That's why I said number 3. It just leaves 2. My 2 favorite Ereb Altor albums are their first 2 albums, but which order am I gonna have it in? So coming in at number 2, I'm going with their sophomore album from 2010, The End. So this one is very much a continuation of the like epic doom, epic Viking metal style from the debut. It's really prideful and glorious, but it's crushing at the same time. It's got this really like dramatic and grandiose feeling throughout the whole album. I don't think it's quite as epic as the debut, which is why I've got it at number 2. It's very close, but to me personally, I feel like the debut edges it out a little bit. This album, so it's still almost all clean vocals. There might be like a touch of harsher vocals in there, but almost all cleans. Just, yeah, epic Viking doom, but just very Quorthon-esque and very amazing stuff. Best songs on here, Meardring, Baldur's Fall, A New But Past Day is really awesome as well. All in all, really solid album in at number 2. So that just leaves one album, kind of hinted at it here, probably no surprise, but my favorite Ereb Altor album is actually their debut, which is all the way back from 2008, titled By Honor. So this one, wow, they just came out of the gates firing on all cylinders here. The Bathory influence is so strong on this album. It just feels like the spiritual successor to albums like Hammerheart and Twilight of the Gods. It's even got maybe like a hint of like Candlemass influence in there as well. It's just so epic and majestic, doomy, epic Viking metal. Like there's not too many bands that can combine all this into making such a great, triumphant album. The guitar riffs are so heavy, but the vocals are so epic and majestic. It's just amazing. There's even spots that kind of remind me of Nordland by Bathory as well. A lot of inspiration, obviously, from all those different eras of Bathory. This album is just executed so well. It's got this really like primal atmosphere that is absolutely perfect for this style of music. Like I said earlier, there's no black metal on this album at all. This is just straight up doom, Viking metal. Every song on here is great. I don't feel that there's any weak moments at all. Like front to back, absolute standout. My favorite songs, if I had to pick, would be Awakening. The title track By Honor is possibly my favorite. Winter Wonderland is really awesome as well. But yeah, the whole thing front to back. Need to listen to it as an album. Don't just go pick out single songs. So if you have not heard By Honor by Ereb Altor, do yourself a favor and go listen to it, especially if you're into like Viking era Bathory, because I don't feel that there's any other band out there that necessarily comes close to capturing this style as well as these guys, other than Bathory, of course. So anyways, these are just my opinions as usual. Love to get yours down below. If you haven't listened to this band, please go check them out. And if you have, give me your ranking down below. Let me know what your favorite album is and what you thought of my ranking. So anyways, until next time, give me a like and give me a subscribe. Hammerheart Metal Reviews. Ow!